So we'll just start seated. And as you're making your way to seated, choosing a cross-legged position that feels good. And trying to take the knees maybe even wider. And we'll just take a moment to move from side to side. Start to notice what's happening in the hips. And as you're moving from side to side, also try to incorporate some movement in your ribcage. And invite your shoulders, gentle rotations of the spine. Move your head, move your neck. And maybe even leaning deeper as you shift from side to side. And at some point, we're just going to settle the palms towards the earth and begin to relax the chin and the jaw. Exhaling through the mouth. And continuing to shift forward until you're in a gentle forward fold, resting towards the forearms. And a very slow, gradual rolling back to center. And as you arrive, reach the arms up. And bring the elbows down. Palms together, reaching up, this time gazing upward. Elbows down, squeeze the scapula, and then chin down. Inhale, arms reach up, lift your gaze. Elbows down, squeeze those shoulder blades, and tuck your chin. Reach forward. Inhale up. One more time, elbows down. Tuck the chin. And this time as you reach forward, interlace your fingers. Reaching up. And then releasing your left hand over. We'll take the right palm behind the head. And lifting your gaze a little bit from there, inviting opening to the left lung and right lung. And carefully taking the right elbow towards the left side, rotating the spine. And inhale, open back up. Exhale, rotating to the left side. Inhale back up. And once again, rotating. Inhale back up. This time, reaching the arm out and then carrying the arm towards the front of the body and over towards the left side. You can leave it floating. We'll take 3 breaths here. Softening the right shoulder away from the ear. And returning right arm back up and open. And from here, we'll press off of the left hand and find center. Nice big inhale, reaching hands forward and up. Interlacing fingers, reaching up overhead. And then releasing the right arm, taking the left palm behind the skull. Again, expanding your lungs. And carefully taking left elbow towards the right side. Inhale, opening. Elbow towards the right side. Inhale, open. And one more time towards that right side. And inhale, open. Returning the left hand. Sweeping that in front of the body. And as you reach around to the right, you can leave it floating. Continue to rotate from the low back. And inhale, left hand returns, and we'll pull ourselves back to center. Nice big inhale, palms together, reaching up. Interlace fingers. Stick interlace fingers towards the navel this time. And inhale as you reach up. Exhale behind the skull. Inhale back up. Keeping interlace fingers around your spine with a cat-like back. And then back up to the sky. Exhale towards the navel. Inhale overhead. Behind the skull. Reaching upward. Cat-like back forward. And inhale up. One more time towards the navel. Inhale up. Exhale behind the skull. Inhale, lift. Exhale, rounding. And back up overhead. Carefully releasing the fingers towards the shoulders. And we'll do shoulder rotations one at a time, lifting up and lifting back. And do try to rotate your spine a little bit. Also lifting all the way up from the floating ribs. From the shoulder blades. Wonderful. Let's try in the opposite direction. Make sure you're breathing. Massaging the lungs as you go. All right. And then arms reach out. We'll take our left elbow under the right, squeezing the tops of the shoulders, nodding the chin a few times, up and back, and then down. You can bring a little bit of rounding to the spine. And then finding the center of this pose, bringing either back or front of palms together. And as you lift the arms, take a nice inhale. And exhale, folding forward. Inhale, rising. Exhale, folding forward. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale, rise. And exhale, fold. As you return to center, release the arms. And we'll take the opposite crossing, right elbow under left, hugging the shoulders. This time just turning the skull from side to side. Make sure the chin stays slightly lowered. And then finding the center of that, bringing either back or front of palms together, lifting the arms high. And just like before, we'll fold forward. And inhale up. And we'll do that 2 more times, folding forward. Inhale up. And once more. And inhale up. From here, releasing the arms out, bringing the elbows down. Stretch the arms out. We'll turn our thumbs down and tuck the hands behind the back, reaching for forearms or maybe for elbows. Breathing there. Feeling shoulders resting down away from the ears. You might work with the chin, again, lifting and lowering a few times. Maybe just hanging the head, continuing to draw the shoulders down the back. And if the chin is tucked, please bring it back to center. We'll release the arms from here, and we're going to make our way to hands and knees. Any props that you might have, just sliding them away. And as you come to hands and knees, try to make sure that your shoulders and wrist are in line. Knees are about hip width distance. We'll start with the upper back, rounding. And as you look forward, we're going to sink heavy into the shoulders and then drop the belly. So we're doing a little shrug with our cat-cow up, out of those shoulders, rounding through the spine. Looking forward, gazing forward, but sinking into the shoulders as well. Continuing at your own pace, rounding, toning the bottom of the belly. Sinking forward, heavy into the shoulders. And then making your way to a neutral spine, we're going to position the fingertips pointing in towards each other. And carefully lowering towards the earth, hovering maybe an inch or so above the hands. And sort of sway a little bit from side to side, noticing the muscular effort in the biceps and triceps. Notice the stretch in your pectoral muscles. Pushing those palms into the earth and almost towards each other. And then finding the very center of that, rising back up. And we'll lower again. Shifting from side to side. And inhale, rising back up. And then repositioning the palms forward, and we'll come back to traditional cat-cows with no shrug. Just belly forward, and then cat-like back. Try to move into the lower back. Notice more movement in your pelvis. Working the lumbar. And from neutral spine, let's take our heels over towards the right side and just looking towards the right side. And then heels moving towards the left side, looking towards the left side. And as you return back to center, let's bring the knees all the way together. And then taking the right knee behind the left, separating the heels, and we'll come back to our cat-cows. This time, focus on the upper body. The heads and the shoulders, the upper neck, mid-thoracic. And then hinging back any degree, you might rest all the way back to the forearms, maybe just halfway there. And we'll settle for 5 full breaths, breathing in. Relaxing your belly, exhale. Slow, thoughtful breath. Expanding the back of your lungs. And then returning to your palms and releasing the right knee back to the right side. We'll take the left knee now behind the right, separate the heels, and return to some movements in the spine. Cat-cow like movement. And from here, making sure you have enough space, beginning to shift back. Settling for 5 full breaths. And slowly returning to the palms, releasing the left knee. And from here, we're just going to walk the hands a full placement forward. Step back with the right foot. And then lifting the right leg and lowering it. We'll do that just a few times. So lift and lower. Try and keep your gaze forward. And the next time that you lower the right foot, we're just going to drop to the instep, shifting weight into the left palm and reaching the right hand to the sky. From here, carefully take the right arm in line with the ear, fully stretching by rooting that right foot, extending from the fingers of the right hand. And then releasing the right palm back to the earth and the right knee. We'll extend our left leg back. Gazing forward, carefully lift and lower. Moving at your own pace. And the next time that you lower, dropping to the instep, shifting weight into the right palm, or reaching left hand to the sky, carrying left hand back, down, and in line with the ear, fully extending the left side. And returning to palms. Let's take child's pose from here, shifting back, making your way to either forearms or stacked fist, maybe forehead to the earth. Softening the lower belly, noticing the curvature of the spine, feeling free to exhale through the mouth, slowing down. And elevating your torso, taking the knees wide. You can keep your big toes towards each other and returning back to the forearms. Moving the head forward and back. And if it's okay, settling a little deeper into the pose. We'll take 3 more breaths. As you walk your palms back towards center, we're going to reach over towards the right side, maybe resting to the right forearm, and reaching left hand to the sky or in line with the ear. Taking the left arm forward and walking over towards the left side, supported in the left forearm, right hand reaching, or in line with your ear. And this time, as the right hand reaches forward, we're going to reach the right hand around towards the back body, and then bringing the left arm towards the right side, reaching in line with the ear, inviting a little bit of a back bend. Hinging in your hips, folding forward, reaching over to the left side. Right hand follows, lifting the gaze, breathing into the back body. And closing the pose as the hands come back to center, or readjust the knees together. Separate the heels, make your way to your forearms, and then from there, beginning to hinge back. Relaxing the back of the skull and forehead. Softening through the belly, releasing the diaphragm. And we'll rise ourselves back up. Taking half downward facing dog, so you can readjust the knees about hip width distance, walking hands forward, lowering heart, sternum, and forehead towards the earth. And as you press into your palms, we're going to move forward to the belly, dropping down to the elbows and forearms. Walk the elbows forward and start to sway, but think about lengthening the spine as you're swaying from side to side. Reaching forward from the very edge of the rib cage. Try and keep your toes planted. Extending out of the low back. And then carefully make your way to stacked palms with your forehead resting at the wrists. And we're going to separate the feet a little wider than the hips. Take your time, pushing the right foot into the earth. Lift your left leg. Breathing in. Exhaling. In breath. And out. One more in. And out. Releasing left leg to the earth. Shifting weight to the left side. Reaching right leg. Breathing in. And out. In. Out. One more in. Out. Releasing right leg. Walking the palms to the sides of the rib cage. Lifting up and back. And we'll just move forward and back a few times. You decide how far forward and how far back. All right, we're making our way to seated. And whatever you're using today for your prop, we're just going to tuck it underneath the knees. And make our way fully to the back. Taking a nice full body stretch. Arms and legs reaching. And as you're reaching, inviting curvature to the low back as you inhale. And exhale, rooting down. Notice the movement of the rib cage. The opportunity to press into the shoulder blades. And then inviting the right knee in, securing interlaced fingers at the right ankle. And as you're hugging in, left toes in towards the shin bone, extending from the left heel. You're more than welcome to keep it resting on your prop or just a gentle elevation. Hugging in through the right side, extending and reaching through the left. And then relaxing the left leg, still hugging the right knee in. A few exhalations through the mouth. Releasing the left hand out to the side and using the right hand to assist with circles, rotating in the right hip socket. Be generous with the rotations, crossing the midline and fully opening to the side. And do try at least 3 in the opposite direction. And we'll come back to hugging the right knee, but just with the right hand. And then stepping your left foot to your prop and letting the left knee fall out to the side for a half of a butterfly pose. At this point, if you want to use both of the hands on the right knee, that's okay. Come back to the exhalations through the mouth, sinking heavily along the spine. Resting the eyes deep in the eye sockets. The jaw releasing. The sides and back of the skull releasing. And encouraging the breath to lengthen and deepen. Choosing to either support behind the right knee as you extend the right leg to the sky, or holding the bottom of the foot. Whichever variation is most available to you. Finding that. Try and root the right hip more into the earth. Make sure that you're still releasing the jaw, the eyes, sides and back of the skull. Heavy shoulders. As you begin to sink deeper into the right side, start to breathe deeper into the right lung. And again, noticing the back of the lung. And the right side of your low back. And whether you're holding the foot or behind the knee, release, reaching the arms out, moving the right ankle and toes, maybe interlacing the fingers as you reach with a gentle elevation of the chin. And then right knee back in towards your belly, supporting there. Rooting across the sacrum and low back. Inviting the left knee back up and taking a full body stretch. Both arms and both legs are reaching. Move your ankles, move your toes. Notice the length on the right side. And then slowly exhale, pulling the left knee in with interlaced fingers at the left ankle. Right toes in towards the shin. Reaching and extending. Maybe it's rested on your prop as you're doing so. Perhaps a gentle elevation. Keep hugging in through the left side and extending and reaching through the right. And then releasing the right leg, still hugging the left knee in. And releasing the right arm, using the left hand to circulate in the left hip. Massaging around. Big circles towards the midline, all the way to the outer edge of the left hip. Massaging the glutes. And changing direction. Coming back to a hug on the left knee. Stepping the right foot to your prop. And letting the right knee reach out to the right side. Breathing there. And either hands behind the left knee as you extend the left leg, or reaching to the foot. Encouraging the left hip to reach towards the earth. Soften your belly. Nice steady breath. Softening the muscles of the face. Allowing the stretch. Using minimal effort. And releasing the left leg all the way out, reaching with the arms. Maybe interlace fingers. Inviting the left knee back in, hugging. And as you bring the right knee back to center, release your right leg out. And just support, hugging in the left knee. Let's take a full body stretch. Reaching with your legs and your arms. Moving the ankles and wrists. And from here, relaxing both arms to the side. Moving the skull slowly from left to right. And as you're moving your skull from side to side, step your feet to your prop and move your knees from side to side. And as we find the center of this, just joining the bottom of your feet and letting the knees rest out to the sides. And if you need to send your feet over the edge of your prop, that's okay too. Just making sure you feel fully supported. And as you're here, noticing the movement of your breath. And allowing a gentle pause between the inhale and exhale. Turning the skull towards the left side and breathing into the right nostril. Exhaling through the right nostril. And visualize as you're breathing into the right nostril, a line of energy and breath moving towards your left temple. Right nostril to left temple. Maybe you can feel the pulsation of the left temple while you're doing so. Bringing full awareness there. And very slowly letting the skull roll to center and all the way to the right side. And as you're relaxing to the right side, identify your left nostril. Inviting breath there. And now inviting that line of energy from left nostril to right temple. Exhaling back to left temple. Inhaling left nostril to right temple. Exhaling back to left nostril. Just continue. Relax the body. So practice in identifying more subtle aspects in the body and breath. Stay focused. A few more rounds. And then relaxing breath. Letting the skull roll back to center. Carefully moving your toes. Bringing the knees back. We're going to bring the knees towards the belly. Hug underneath the knees by lifting your skull. Interlace your fingers. Keep your heels wide, knees wide. Relax your head back to the earth. Gentle rocking from side to side. Noticing the elevation of the tailbone, but also rocking across the shoulders, the sides of the skull, your low back and kidneys, rolling across the spine. Keep the body soft. And the next time that you find the center of your spine, keep your hold and settle deeper into the earth. Less effort through the crease of the hips. behind the knees. Relaxing the feet and toes. Holding but soft shoulders. Relaxing your belly. Holding but spine releasing. Body becoming heavier in this pose. Releasing the arms to the sides, palms facing open. Releasing the legs out, fully resting them. Readjusting the skull, fully releasing the tops of the shoulders, your elbows, the center of your wrists, the center of your palms, the back of your palms, and all of your fingers. Release your thumbs, pointer fingers, middle fingers, ring fingers, and pinkies. Arms fully releasing. Back of the shoulders releasing. Releasing the hips. Relax your knees, your ankles, the bottom of your feet, the top of your feet, and all of your toes. Fully relaxing your legs, your hips, the torso, including the rib cage, the spine, and shoulder blades. Top of the shoulders releasing, arms releasing, back of the neck releasing, back and sides of the skull releasing, scalp releasing, forehead releasing, eyebrows releasing, eyes, eye sockets, eyelids, nose, cheekbones, mouth, releasing your top lip, the bottom lip, the roof of your mouth, your tongue, the center of your throat, your collarbones, and your heart center and lungs. Fully releasing and relaxing, allowing the body to be still, restful, holding an open expression and sense of peace. Staying near to both body and breath. In the slowest way, begin to deepen your breath. Moving the skull, your fingers, moving your toes and ankles, gradually moving your wrists and elbows, and eventually incorporating a nice full body stretch, elevating your chin, reaching the full body. Interlacing your fingers behind your skull, lift your skull. And move your skull from side to side just a little bit. Inviting the eyes back into the space that surrounds you. And then releasing the skull and hands. Bringing the knees towards the belly. Some slow movements from side to side. Awakening. And rolling to whichever side of the body is most appropriate. Helping yourself up to some kind of seat. And as you arrive, knowing that sense of peace, peace, and only peace. Peace, peace, and peacefulness. Bringing the hands together before your heart, bowing to that internal space. Having a great thankfulness to your being for showing up for you. And I thank you for sharing your practice. Namaste.